Welcome to my Cursed Items compilation. If you like this content, show some support by hitting that sub and like button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to know when new videos show up. Alright, let's get to the good stuff. Cursed items that my players forgot about but I didn't, part 3. The gold goblin tooth. After your players have inevitably killed a couple of goblins, one of them's going to spit out a gold tooth. Extra loot! Yes! This innocuous looking thing can sell for about 3 silver. But should any of them dare to stick it in their mouth? And let's be real, our players are giant toddlers, they're going to do it. That's when the curse kicks in. They're going to think you're a mean SOB for this one. Every time your player talks, they need to make a performance check to be the best linguist they could possibly be. If they roll less than 10, they bite their tongue. Saying the blood jet out will then make them take a negative to their persuasion check, intimidation check, or whatever social check you're having them do. On the plus side, if they can speak Goblin, they can speak fluently without having to make the check. Cursed items that my players forgot about, but I didn't, part 4. The Ring of Protection. This particular ring is actually carved out of stone and is not made from metal. After a day of attuning to the person wearing it, runes start to glow on it. And it's just like any other ring of protection. It gives your player +1, 2, or 3 AC, whatever you see fit. The real fun part is when they put it on, it's a +3 because then they never want to take it off. And most players won't catch this until they're in combat. The rogue goes for a sneak attack, rolls 2 dice, 16 and a 17. Hit. Here comes your frontline barbarian. Whap. 17. Miss. So the fun part is anyone who they attack gets that +3 modifier to their defense. It's a ring of protection, all right, just not for you. I had a player walk out of a game. First items my players forgot about, but I didn't, part 6. The ball of string. Now everybody loves string. It can be used in so many ways. Fishing, tie stuff up, put it around your little finger for a reminder. What's better than a never-ending ball of string? Oh, here we go. After exactly 3 pieces are cut from this ball of string, it doesn't matter the length. The curse triggers. The ball itself infinitely unravels. It doesn't matter if it's in a regular backpack, a handy haversack, or a bag of holding. All items become entangled by it. Anything out of your bag that you need right there and then requires a DC 10 sleight of hand check. But my bag brings it automatically to my hand. Yes, I know. Too bad it's wrapped in string. The cleric quit mid-game because he fumbled this healing potion 4 times out of his bag. I let him use everything. Action, reaction. I let him use his movement to try and get it out. He didn't quit the game, but that's what you get for dumping decks. Cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't, Season 2. The Clerics Bane. Alright, so this slightly melancholy sword will show up with your Cleric's Patron's emblem on it. How can they resist? Now, it's a pretty standard +1 sword. However, it crits on an 18 to 20. So there may be some infighting at first. The way this works is anytime a cleric tries to heal, they're taken over by an urge that only a DC 15 wisdom save can stop. If they fail their saving throw, here's where the fun begins. They are compelled to run towards the nearest ally, which if they were trying to heal is probably the guy on the ground. If the weapon's sheathed, they unsheath it. For the sake of the attack, they do become proficient. They add their wisdom modifier to the attack roll and the damage roll. And if they hit, well, the attack does max damage. And may the Lord help them if it's a crit. Cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't, Season 2. This one's called the Thief's Third Eye. Now this creepy looking thing has a bunch of boons to it. 1, it gives your passive perception a +2. Ooh. If you hang this necklace behind you, it can actually allow you to see behind you. While wearing this, you can innately tell if something's valuable or not. No, it's not going to give you the gold price, but you'll know if it's worth something, or it's fake. Now, it wouldn't be a cursed item without some problems, right? Once attuned to this necklace, should you take it off, you suffer from the blindness condition. It's permanent till either you put it back on or someone hits you with the spell curse. 2, this thing's only got an AC of 5, so if someone happens to hit it and break it, it's only got 10 HP. Your character is then blind. If you really want to mess with your players, here's what you do. Once they've attuned, have someone steal it. Can't dispel the curse if you ain't got the cursed item. Alright, cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't, Season 2. The Sword of Orcan Strength. Alright, should your players manage to rip this bad boy out of the stone, wood, whatever you decide to put it in, they get an immediate +2 to their strength. That's not counting the bonus from the sword, and you can make the bonus whatever you want. Now, getting the sword out of the rock, tree, whatever you have, the person, the other work, you can make that a challenge in itself. Now, here's the fun part. The player who equips this item will forever give off a slightly sour smell, kind of like curdled milk. Now, the smell is indistinguishable to the person who has the sword equipped. but not to everybody around them. This poor sap will have disadvantage in every diplomacy, bluff, pretty much any charisma check with any other race aside from orcs or half-orcs. But other orcs will dig them. Is that Ode to Slaughter? Cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't. Season 2. This particular spell tome is known as the Brains to Brawn. AKA... Alright, so here's how it works. So you leave this tome just sitting around where your wizard can find it. The first page and passage says, an unknown power to which no wizard kind has ever known before. Something you could not wrap your mind around. Now your wizard will get curious, so when they go to turn that first page, it requires a DC 10 strength check. No, they cannot just take 10 on this one. If or when they manage to flip the page, and it must be a spellcaster or a wizard that does this, you know how it is. No barbarians using their pinky finger to flip it. The book then mocks them, saying, I realize that this was difficult for you. Do you wish to have untold power? Levels beyond what you know? Emphasize the levels because that'll make players jump at it. Should the wizard agree, their strength stat and their casting stat get swapped. It's all fun and games, so the wizard's magic missile is just him hurling the halfling. Cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't. Season 2. The wrought iron dwarf. Alright, so the funny little thing works just like a figurine of power. If you don't know what that is, it means you throw it like a hand grenade, it goes pop and turns into either a creature, an animal, or something that fights with you. They can also be used for things like sending messages, espionage, stuff like that. It's cool. But this will be your player's first time seeing a humanoid one. Now, this thing is by no means powerful, but it does work as a level 3 fighter. And he comes equipped with his own shield, axe, armor. He's golden. Okay, cast iron. Now, it wouldn't be a cursed item without some side effects, right? After a couple uses, up to the DM, start rolling for random pieces of equipment going missing. Start small. Robe, 10-foot pole, the paladin's new sword. He will follow orders unquestioningly until you try and take the equipment. Then like any dwarf, it's go time. Cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't. Season 2. The Funhouse Mirror. Now, the Funhouse Mirror is one of those objects you can pretty much put anywhere. Castle, guild hall, middle of the forest. Because who's not going to look at a mirror in the middle of the forest, right? Bide your time, someone will look. Now it functions just like a regular funhouse mirror. As they look into it, their body shifts, contorts, looks a little weird. Laughs are had by all. Till you hit them with that will save. Should they fail a DC 12 will save, their actual body begins to contort and form into what it appears in the mirror. I personally have some percentage die. They can either lose or gain 100 pounds, become 2 to 3 feet shorter or taller. If they roll 100 on my chart, matter of fact, they become absolutely yoked. Now, as most people become worried about this one actually ends after a long rest. But let's see the rogue make that dex check when he's 600 pounds. Alright, cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't. Season 2. Like them, love them, or hate them, you all know them. The slippers of spider climbing. Aren't these already a magic item? Yes, but we do cursed items around y'all. Alright, so these slippers let you pretty much walk on walls like you were walking on ground. So let's get to the fun stuff. On the activation of these slippers, your player needs to make a strength check. Once stuck to the wall, that strength check determines whether or not your players fall prone. Gravity's a bitch. And the fun part is these slippers run for the full duration of the cast time. That's an hour. I hope the blood ain't running to your head. Cursed items my players forgot about, but I didn't. Season finale. The Bardbreaker. Yeah, you see that right there? That's the problem. Now, this item isn't specifically geared towards bards. It's geared towards anyone that acquires it. This magical sword gives an astounding +0. But it is technically magic, so it can harm creatures that are immune to non-magical weapons. Now, should someone actually take the time to gaze into the blade, they'll see their ideal partner looking back at them. If they take the time to attune to it, they can hear it talk. Oh yeah, it's one of those kind of cursed items. It's sentient. And this thing's all smiles, giggles, and flattery. It truly means you no harm. Now, like I said, this sword loves its wielder. A lot. So much so that if you touch that +1 weapon, that weapon will go missing. But astoundingly, your sword is now a +1 or whatever it was. And that figure in the blade looks even more alluring, almost like it's trying to make itself exactly for you. Y'all ready for the curse? Once a player realizes that feeding this sword makes it stronger, this sword can go all the way up to +5, by the way. But once it hits +5, it realizes it was nothing but a plaything for this non-faithful person. And that's when it comes alive. It wanted to be the ideal partner for your player. So it is spec'd exactly like your player, except it's got a +5 weapon. And it's only got one goal in mind. That cheater's gonna pay.